Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So this video is going to be all about applying for college as a foster youth or even as an adopted foster youth. So basically you get to go to school for free, and I'm going to show you how. I'm going to take you guys step by step on the computer, how to do everything. As a former foster youth, I just graduated from college a couple months ago, and this is how I've done everything. This is how I've got through school. So if you are trying to get into college, you really should do it because your school is paid for. So if you're a foster parent, if you're a foster youth, I hope this video is helpful for you. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get on the computer and get started with everything. It's really not hard. I know you guys, this is very intimidating and seems very complicated, but it's really not. I'm going to show you everything you need to know about filling out your FAFSA and everything. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, you guys, so when you open up Google and you search FAFSA, this is what it looks like. Make sure you're going to the right website because there are some scam websites out there. So make sure you're going to the one that says .gov. It should be the first one that pops up, but just be careful because like I said, some of them are scams. So this is what it looks like when you open up FAFSA. And if you've never filled out one before, you're going to want to start a new one. And also, I just wanted to say, in case you are confused, you're going to want to apply to the schools that you're interested in going to before you fill out your FAFSA. That way, your information that you do on FAFSA can be sent to your schools, and then they can kind of figure out what kind of aid you are qualified for based on which school you're going to be going to, if that makes any sense. So if you've been confused about the order in which you fill out these kind of applications, fill out your college applications first and then do your FAFSA, okay? So we're going to click start a new one. So you're going to hit enter student information. So here you'll see you're going to put your first name, your last name, then you're going to need your social security number and your date of birth. And then once you've actually made a FAFSA for the first time, you have to make a FAFSA every single year for school. So as long as you're in college, you'll have to do this every year and renew your FAFSA information. So next time you do it, you'll just log in and it'll be the same thing. You just enter your student information and they'll find all of your information. Okay, so this is kind of what it looks like when you're filling out your FAFSA information. So here are the tabs up here of the type of things they're going to be asking you, and then you're done. So it's just asking you about your demographics, and you see just kind of the questions they're asking you. So right here, it's one of the very first questions. I thought it was further down. It's one of the very first questions. Are you a foster youth or were you at any time in the foster care system? This is very important, obviously, to answer yes, because this really helps your aid. And also, you don't have to answer any of your parent demographic questions at that point. Once you hit this question, you don't have to answer anything about your parents, what they make, or really any information about your parents. You can, but you don't have to. So I think this automatically kind of puts you into the need system and you qualify for grant money and stuff like that, depending on what state you're in and stuff like that. So definitely hit yes. This is the most important question to answer, obviously, on your FAFSA. If you were at all a foster youth or you were adopted or anything like that, just click yes and go from there. Also, if you're interested in being considered for a work study, here is the question for it. It's one of the very first questions. A work study is basically they help you with a part-time job on campus. Usually, you definitely want to apply for this. It's super helpful, and usually work studies, they're jobs on campus which you can study and do your schoolwork while you're working. So it's really important that you select yes for this if you would like to get more aid to help you pay for school. So it's basically a really easy part-time job on campus. They have all sorts of different ones, but you want to make sure that you are being considered for a work study because this also furthers your aid, obviously, for school. So it says, based on the information you provided, we've determined that you may qualify for federal student aid. So I think that's obviously because you clicked that you were in foster care. So now it's asking you about the colleges you're interested in going to. So you can add up to 10 colleges. So basically this is just going to send your federal student aid information to these schools so they know what kind of aid you're working with. So whatever state you're going to school in or you've applied for, click on that. And then it should find the school for you that you're looking for. So I'll find my school real quick and show you. And then we'll just do search. And I should bring it up. And then, yep, it found it. So you just hit add. So that's added into your selected schools. Again, you can add up to 10 colleges. So however many colleges you've applied for, just add them all in here. It doesn't cost anything or anything like that. It's just like making it available to send this information to the schools that you're interested in going to. So once you've added all the schools, and again, like you just kind of search and it will find them for you. You add them in here. Once you have all your schools added in, you're going to hit the next button. And then right here, if you're planning on staying on campus or off campus or with a parent, this is where you kind of like select that. Then if you have dependents, like if you have kids and stuff, I think this might also help you with your aid. I'm not really sure because I don't have children, but it's just asking you different questions. Like this is all going to be very personal to whatever your situation is, like depending on what kind of need you have. So this is where it's asking you about questions like that. So again, you are considered an independent student if you are considered a foster child, so you don't have to answer questions about your parents. If you want to answer questions about your parents, or like how it says down here, if you are like in a nursing program or something like that, you might want to answer some questions about your parents, but you don't have to. I never did. So it asks you, do you want to answer questions about your parents? And you can click yes or no, but it's just easier to go with no, obviously, because a lot of us don't even really know like our parents' information anyway. So next. So then I just ask you about like your tax information and stuff like that. So go ahead and just fill that out as you need to. So this is the very end part after it's asking you like all your questions, which really doesn't take much time, as you guys can see. So this is the part where you just like basically sign and you submit your FAFSA. I'm not going to submit mine. I was just showing you guys like what everything looks like. So you submit it and then it sends all this information off to your school. It's going to confirm it and like send you an email and stuff like that. So that's what this page looks like. Pretty simple. Like it's really not hard. I know it's super intimidating to try and like apply for all this stuff. Again, this is a free application. That's what it stands for. Free application for student aid. Everyone has to fill this out no matter how much money they have or anything. Like you always have to fill this out, even people with a lot of money. And this information again gets sent off to your school to see what kind of aid you apply for and what kind of aid and programs your school can offer you as far as like work studies and stuff like that. This website right here gives you a lot of different information about federal programs, and like depending on what state you live in, some people's tuition is actually waivered. So have a look at this website and see if you qualify for any of these programs. I will leave the link down below so you can go directly to this website. So I'll leave this link down in my description box beneath this video so you can click on it and find this information. But basically, like, all you need to really know, first of all, is that you, on your FAFSA, if you were in foster care at 13 or older, even if you were adopted, you are considered an independent student, so you don't have to put any information about your family's income or anything like that. And yes, you are probably going to qualify for financial aid towards your education. So this is really important. You guys should definitely be trying to go to school because you get this aid and you don't have to pay any of it back. Like it's just there for you as a foster child to go to college. So you should definitely try to go. So again, have a look at what your state offers. It even says in Kentucky, which is the state I went to school in, if you were adopted from foster care, your tuition is waived. Like that's amazing. So you're just going to have to kind of like do a little bit of research depending on where you're from and what different resources are available to you. But I'm telling you guys that there's so much aid out there for you to go to school. Like there's no reason why you shouldn't go to school. And then there's another grant that I wanted to point you guys to. It's called the ETV Grant. And so I think this is just depending on what state you live in, you can apply for this grant. So it's only in certain states, but it does give you a certain amount of money to go to school. So definitely look into the ETV grant. Here are all the states that it applies for. Maybe it even goes to other states, but I will leave this link down below for you guys to look into because you basically can get up to $5,000 per year, I think, in order to go towards your education. So basically your education is paid for if you were in foster care. So I really highly recommend you guys look into these programs. Again, this information will be left down in the description box for you guys to check out. So I did want to mention to you guys that after you submit your FAFSA information, there will be a page show up showing you an estimate of your eligibility for grants and stuff like that. So it should show you the Pell Grant, which, like I said, is usually around like $5,000. It's usually like right in the area. It always is, or at least that's how it was for me. So that in itself, depending on what school you go to, I mean, if you're going to like Harvard or something, it should cover your tuition. So at least that part is paid for. While you're doing your FAFSA, you have the option to also apply for loans. So they have unsubsidized and subsidized loans, which I always applied for them. I always took out loans to also help me pay for my housing expenses, my food expenses, which yes, you have to pay those back. That's up to you, that's your choice. I personally always took them out because it was hard for me to work and go to school at the same time, and it was hard to afford housing and everything like that. But with the loans, with the grants, you get overage money. So basically you get money back once school starts, which will be, if depending on how much money you take out, would be around like a couple $1,000s, and that's basically what I lived off of to get through school. I always applied for work study and I never got it. I only got my work study my last semester of school. So I'm not really sure what they base their work studies on. I always applied for it and I never got it. I don't know why. I think it kind of depends on your school and kind of what availability they have. I also want to mention that the sooner you fill out your FAFSA, the more aid you're able to get depending on your school, because schools have like their own kind of like aid that they'll offer you, or different states. So the earlier you fill out your FAFSA, which I believe the earliest you can fill it out for the school year, like the next school year, is in October, like early October, then your school's able to give you different aid. And once they run out of that, that's it. So it's first come, first serve basis when it comes to that. So I always tried to make sure that I filled out mine as soon as I was able to fill it out for the next school year. And then I also got like different kind of grants and aid from my school based on that, which would be like $1,000, $1,200, something like that. But it was more money to help me pay for school, and also like whatever doesn't go towards your tuition, you get back in overage checks, like I said. So you will get whatever money you have left over from your loans, your grants, scholarships, whatever, you'll get back in a form of a check or direct deposit or something like that, depending on how much you take out, and you can do whatever you want with that. Which, like I said, I always use that money to like pay for housing, pay for food, pay for that kind of stuff. So when I went to school in Ohio, I got something called the Ohio Op Grant, which came like, it was like basically first come, first serve, depending on, you know, like how you filled out your FAFSA. And so fill it out early is all I'm trying to say. Your school, they all vary depending on what they have to offer their students who are in need. So always fill it out early. Do not wait till the last minute to fill it out, trust me. So it really doesn't take long for your schools to get your information from your FAFSA. Once that happens, your school will email you telling you that they've got your FAFSA information, and you accept your loans if you want to accept them. So you have to go into the system again. It's either through your school or through FAFSA, I'm not really sure. But you have to go accept your loans, accept your aid. Once you do that, then everything's good to go and you're all set. So this is a relatively quick process. It just takes a couple of weeks, I think, to get all this information through as far as like applying and getting your financial aid in place. So I think I covered just about everything I could think of covering. I hope this video was helpful. And again, I just want to stress, like, I know it's super scary trying to do all this and apply for school, but it's so worth it. You definitely should do it. Going to school is the best thing you can do for yourself. Getting an education is something no one can take from you, and especially as a foster youth, you get help. So in that aspect, you're super lucky, because some people don't have financial aid options like we do. So this is everything that I've done through my college career. This is how I ended up graduating. So it's all up to you guys how you want to do it, but basically if you get grants and everything, these are things you don't have to pay back, and they're available to you as a foster youth. as I showed you guys. So please accept this help. Please go to school. If I can do it, you guys can definitely do it. I believe in you and I wish you the best of luck. If you guys have any questions, if you need any help, please let me know in the comments down below. I also always leave my email address in the description box if you would like to email me personally, and I always try to respond to you guys if I can, if I'm able to help you in any way that I can. So again, good luck. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.